Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to another day of kindergarten with Mrs. R. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to learn about something called an apostrophe and how an apostrophe S, when we add that to a word, shows that something belongs to something else. Okay, so today you're going to need your backpack there, reading and writing workbook that looks just like this. And you're going to need a good pencil with an eraser. So go ahead and grab your workbook and let's get started. I'm going to start by sharing my screen with you. So, oops, hold on, friends. 1 second. I did not share the right screen. There, and there we go. Okay, so we've got our backpack there, reading and writing workbook number 2. And we're going to turn to page 28, which is a 2 and an 8. Okay, and you can see down here at the bottom, we have a 2 and an 8. All right, and if you're having any trouble finding page 28, go ahead and ask your mom or dad or a big brother and sister to help you find that page. So at any time, if I'm going too quickly, you need to hear the directions again, or I'm getting too far ahead of you, always know that you can press pause and you can rewind the video, go back and listen to the directions again, push play, and then continue on, okay? All right, so today we're going to talk about something called possessive nouns. That sounds like a really big word, but what it really means is we're just showing that things belong to somebody. So let me give you an example. Here up here, we have the word Mox. So remember Mox, the fox in our stories that we've been reading, okay? So Mox has a shop, and down here it says Mox's shop. So to show that that shop belongs to Mox, we add an apostrophe. This little line up here at the top is called an apostrophe, and then we add an S. And that means it tells the reader when we see this apostrophe S that whatever comes afterwards belongs to that person, okay? So it's just a little way to show the reader what's going on in the story, okay? So in this case, we're going to trace the apostrophe S and the word shop, which spells shop, okay? And shop is just another name for a store. So we're going to draw a line from there to the picture of Mox's shop, okay? So we're going to do tracing, we're going to read, and then we're going to match the sentence, or not the sentence, but the phrase with the picture. So we've got a picture of, here, let's see here, we've got Peg, which is a bird in our story. Okay, we have, let's see, Bob. We've heard of Bob in our stories before. Zach, of course, the rat. And then we also have down here, we've got Peg, if you remember Peg the chicken. So we've got all kinds of characters from our story. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the next sentence. So sentence number 2, we're going to go ahead and trace the apostrophe S, and then we're going to trace this word, and then we're going to read it and figure out where does the sentence belong, okay? So after you're done tracing, then go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and put our finger on the first word, okay? All right, let's try and read it. Zack, Zach's fan, Zach's fan. And again, when we add the apostrophe S, it tells us that that fan belongs to Zach. So we're looking for a picture of Zach's fan. Oh, I think this is it. Not only does it give us a clue, his name is on his shirt, but he's holding a fan. So we're going to draw a line from that box to the picture of Zach holding a fan. Okay. Okay, now they want us to write it all by ourselves, the apostrophe S. So we're getting the practice of writing apostrophe S. So here, apostrophe, we make it, it's just a little backwards C right there at the top, and we add an S. And then we're going to trace the J, the E, and the T. Okay, so let's go ahead, after you've traced it, added your apostrophe S and trace the J, E, T, we're going to sound out this word and figure out what it says. Here we go. Eggs, pegs, jet, jet, pegs, jet. Which one is Peg's jet? This is a picture of Peg's jet. There we go. All right. Then let's go to the next one. All right. So in this sentence, we're going to add an apostrophe S, and then I'm going to add B-O-X. So you go ahead and trace that. Add your apostrophe S and trace the B-O-X. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and sound this out together. B-O-B-S, Bobs, B-ox, box, Bob's box. And I can see clearly up here that Bob up here is holding a box. So that goes to that one, just like that. And then we have one more left. Let's go ahead and add our apostrophe S and then trace our words. Okay, so add apostrophe S and then trace the P, the E, and the T. All right, let's read this last word. Eggs, pegs, pet, pet, pegs, pet. Oh, and I can see all the way up here. Here's Peg, and then she has this little tiny creature, which I'm sure is her pet. So now we've got to go all the way up here to the top. Oh my goodness, this looks like an octopus with all these wavy lines. All right, so now now that we've finished up, all you need to remember is if you want to show that something belongs to somebody else in your reading or in your writing, you're going to add an apostrophe S. So if you were to say your name, say your name was Anne, and you want to say that that was your house. Anne, you'd write your name, apostrophe S, and then write the word of the thing that belongs to you. Okay? So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like on a piece of paper. This is where I was going to grab a piece of paper and show you. So for example, if you wanted to show that something belonged to you, okay, let's use the example that I talked about, Anne, A-N-N. So Anne, and she has a cat, okay, let's do cat, cat. And we wanted to show that Anne has a cat. We do our apostrophe S. See how I added that right here, apostrophe S. Anne's cat. This means that the cat belongs to Anne. Does that make sense? Okay, so you could do it with anybody's name. So if you wanted to do, let's see, John, so J-O-H-N, and John has a dog. Okay, so we do a finger space and then D-A-G. So we wanted to say it was John's dog, apostrophe S, John's dog. This means that this dog belongs to John, okay? So that's how we would do that and show that something belongs to something else. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next page. So you don't need to turn any pages, you just need to go to the next slide right here. And we're gonna work with some high frequency words. So up here at the top, we've got the word he, they, little, do, and with. And remember we did one of these puzzles before. We were looking for tall, short letters based on how tall or how short and how many there are. We're gonna figure out what word goes into which space. So let's go ahead and fill in the boxes first, and then we'll read. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 short at the beginning and 2 tall at the end. So let's look for words with 4 letters. This has 2 tall at the beginning. We need our 2 tall at the end. This has too many letters. This doesn't have enough. This has 4 letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, with 2 short and 2 tall. I bet this is the word. So I'm gonna cross it out and I'm gonna write it here, W-I-T-H, just like that. And it fits perfectly, doesn't it? 2 short and 2 tall letters. All right, now we're looking for a word with 1, 2, 3, 4 letters, 2 tall, 1 short, and 1 that goes under the line. So 4 letters. Here's one with 4, 2 tall, 1 short, and 1 goes under the line. Do you think that's gonna fit? I think it is. Let's try it. Capital T, lowercase h, E, and then a Y that goes under the line. It fits perfectly, you guys. Let's cross it off. All right, so let's go to the next spot. This one, this one has 2 spaces. That means 2 letters, a tall and a short. No, let's see here. we know I have a word here that has a tall and a short, and I have one here with a tall and a short. But this is the clue that tells me it's not this one, because the first letter of this one is capitalized, and this is the beginning of the sentence. We're kind of in the middle of the sentence. The only time you capitalize letters is at the beginning of a sentence, and this word is not at the beginning of a sentence. So that one probably isn't it. Let's try this word instead. D-O. And that would make sense because it's not at the beginning of the sentence, but somewhere in the middle. And so that's not capitalized at the beginning. So that makes sense. Okay, so now we hang in a word that has a tall and a short and would be at the beginning of the sentence, which means the first letter would have to be capitalized. Look at here. Our second two-letter word that we had, remember we were talking about the beginning of sentences, the first letter has to be capitalized. Well, look here, perfect. Capitalized in lowercase. So a tall and a short. That works perfectly. Now we only have one word left. So we know that one is going to go into this spot. And of course, luckily, it fits perfectly. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's try and read these sentences. So I'm going to put my pencil away because I don't need that any longer. And we're going to see if we can figure out how to read these sentences. Okay. All right, so let's take a look. So I'm going to point to the first letter and the first word, and we're going to sound it out. Z, ak, zach, k, and can, jog, jog. Zach can jog with mox. Zach can jog with mox. Let's try the next one. This word is they. So get your mouth ready to say they. They jog to a log. They jog to a log. Okay. Point to the next sentence. And we know this is the next sentence because there's a period there from the last one. So this is a new sentence. And it's capitalized. So we also know that. Gives us a clue that it's a new sentence. Ox, mox, and can jog on top. Mox can jog on top. Okay. Next sentence, let's give it a try. Sound it out, get your finger ready. Zach, Zach, and can not. Zach cannot do it. Zach cannot do it. Let's try the next one. He is little. He is little. Last sentence, you guys can do it. Mox says, you and can jog in the log. Mox says, you can jog in the log. Very good. That was so tricky. New sight words, and we had to match them looking at the short and tall letters. And also we had to look at the clues that they gave us. Was it capitalized at the beginning or was it not capitalized at the beginning? That was kind of tricky when we were using the word he and the word do, because we had where we could put that either word in one spot, like right here, but we used our clues and knew that because he was capitalized and that would be at the beginning of a sentence, it would not work in this case. So we used some definite clues from our story to help us figure out which was the right word. So great job, everybody. Practice reading these sentences on your own and see if you can give it a try just by sounding out and doing your very best. If you ever get stuck, you can always ask an adult to help you, okay? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close my book and I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Thank you for joining me today and working really hard on your sight words and also matching up and reading. As we move on the year, we're practicing more and more with reading. And I know you guys are getting really good at it. And some of you are just starting to learn to sound out words. And I know it can be hard, but don't ever give up. Just keep trying. You will eventually get there and you will eventually read, okay? So don't ever give up. Just keep going and just try to keep a positive attitude And if you ever get frustrated, just take a breath and walk away from it for a little while. Give a break, go take a break, maybe a snack break, or just go play a little bit. Come back to it. And sometimes your brain likes to start over. And sometimes that helps your brain to start again and try to figure out how to read those tricky words. Okay. So I wish each of you a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye, everybody.